Flying Monkey とかさ。
Welcome to Welcome to ザ・リーガルマインドセットさんチャンネルそのパフパフはいです。
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Andrew Esquire here, and this legal mindset we teach you to be your own judge. We're coming to you with a late man here at 10 p.m. tonight in Bangkok, Thailand. I know it's morning over there in the USA, but wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful time. We have a hell of a show for you today. We are going to get into so many topics. My Clipper Eagle is going to be very, very busy today breaking this up into separate clips to drop. By the way, shout out to Eagle because we now have the Eagle emoji in the chat, and I see some people dropping in already here, but appreciate that today. So make sure you're dropping those Eagles in the chat in appreciation for that. So yes. And also, I do want to throw out there because I know a lot of y'all are mentioning it out there. Obviously, and I saw somebody mention it in the chat. Obviously, this is something it's not a topic in terms of a legal topic, but I mentioned it before. And shout out to Minato Aqua, who's graduating of Hololive fame here, who is graduating from Hololive. So big love for the talents as they graduate. And I always like to see people go off in a positive way. So for those that mentioned that, Senpai notices you. I see you guys. And obviously we send much love to everybody who's graduating. Lots of Eagles in the chat here. Lots of Eagles. This bad boy can hold so many topics. So true. Hold up. Unlicensed lawyers, also lawman. Oh, you know what? I did skip the law man. I can't get you guys going without the long man. Let's give you a little bit of that to get started. I'm sorry, DECMB.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Low man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Because enjoy that like always. Appreciate all y'all. The cat is the real star. All right. Lucky Trucker said the perfect clip to start off. Also, please search Adora Service Lawyer. Wait, what? What? Adora Service Lawyer? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna play this clip right now because I have questions. I have a lot of questions. So we'll play this clip now because I feel like if I wait for later, it may be too late. So let's watch this little clip here today. Adora Service Lawyer.
There I was, hanging out, vibing, thriving. God, this is dog in here. It's a restaurant. Dogs aren't allowed. Are you a service animal?
I am a service animal. I'm a legal service animal.
Is that actually what lawyers are?
Yes, that's what I've been this entire time. Why do you think I'm rendering colorblind?
So you're saying if I put you in a collar, I can take you into like grocery stores and be like, this is my service lawyer? Okay.
Absolutely. If you put me into a collar, you can bring me into any grocery store you want, Adora.
Do I need to put you in a vest too that says like service lawyer?
Yes.
For the record, I will not be collared and put in a vest, okay? Just for the record.
We're gonna go to TwitchCon, and you'll be able to find me and Adora because I'll be wearing a vest that says service lawyer, be wearing a collar, and she's gonna have me leashed, and it's not gonna be a sex thing.
It's not a sex thing, chat. Chat type.
That's what they all say. it's not a sex thing.
One, if it's not a sex thing. It's not a sex thing. It's, I can't type one in my own chat anymore because I'm not logged into my
Okay, that's it. All right. Enough of that clip. Holy hell. X to doubt on it's not a sex thing. By the way, I did not see the Bobo when I opened that. When I opened that clip, I was like, oh yeah, it's focused on her face. It zooms out, and I'm like, well, that's a shock. All right, King Lugia. One legal mindset overture. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Hey, King Lugia. There's a reason why kings keep their crown. I think you dropped something. Herzog Kalfan Ustara Chechen said, good morning, Mr. Mindset. Grüß Gott. Says, I've already thanked you for your content. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. This time is different. Someone close to me died of cancer, and your streams helped me when I needed something positive. Thank you. Hey, listen, let me say something real quick. You know, I know we're like silly in here, and I know that I sometimes, I sometimes may come off as somebody who doesn't care about anything or whatever else, but I absolutely do. And when I say I know how hard that is, how difficult that is, I have lost family members to the really voracious and insane thing known as cancer. I've lost loved ones. I had a girlfriend's father that died while I was visiting them in California of prostate cancer, right? I mean, it's an absolute crazy, vicious thing. And I'm glad that my streams in any way were able to help, even if it's with a moment of levity or escape. And really, I am hoping for, praying for you and your family, sending you all my love and support. And if there's anything that I can do from you, what meager I can do for you, just hit me up and let me know. I'm happy to help you out there. So, thank you. I'm glad to hear that and appreciate you sticking around on this channel. Elizabeth Rose, Blood Flame Rosarian Manando Sword says, what is your status on your collab with Idol now that they basically shut down Emerge with Brave? Also, can you react to the clips Bibu 3D Ring playthrough and Koella appeared in Bibu 3D as final boss? I'll do one of them because we can't go. It's not an infinite clip night. I've got time for some, but not too many. So I'll just do Bibu 3D Ring. Let's see, how long is this one? This is 5 minutes, a little long, but let's see if I can find one that's a little shorter. Let's see, Kayla appeared as Bibu 3D final boss. Maybe that one is Kayla. Maybe that one will work. Yeah, that one's 3 minutes. So I'll put that one towards the end. But appreciate that. Thank you for the recommendation. But I will be talking about Idol. So that is our second topic, or third topic. So we will get to that. Do not worry. Idol and Brave, we're going to be talking a lot about that, actually. So hang on. Repton94 says, it's not a sex tame. It becomes one. That's right. Herzog Kalvan gifted 20s. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sansik memberships. Appreciate you very, very much. Vielen Dank for those memberships. It's so funny. I got used to counting in, I was here. When I'm in Thailand, I'm used to counting in Thai, but I was in Japan for so long. I'm used to be saying need you, right? Oh, it's all good. My Japanese was beginning to be dusted off. And then of course I come back here to Thailand. I do have to practice a little more of my Japanese. But it's there. It's there. Elizabeth Rose Blood Fame's Manando Sword became a new member. Appreciate you very, very, very much. I thought you were a member. I guess, is that an upgrade? Oh, no. That's just a new membership. Okay, got you there. And thank you for the 20 memberships once again. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very, very, very much. Thank you. You guys are really mega chats today, and really ultimately
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Look, I'm happy you guys enjoy my streaming, my content, and I hope that this analysis can help you learn something, but also maybe entertain you and help bring some objectivity and some facts into your life. So we're going to get into it first with Vishojo. We'll do this real quick. Now, I know that a lot of people applied for Vichojo this time around. And now, officially, as far as I can see, the applications are closed. So that's officially cut off. Thanks to those that have applied. We'll be reviewing and reaching out to those applications and moving forward over the next 2 weeks. If you're selected and moved in the next round, please expect an email from vishojo.com regarding your application. Please note, we won't consider any applications sent after 8/6 or any new members we select from this application won't debut until 2025. So I am very excited to see the next class at Vichojo. Who is it going to be, right? Who is it going to be? There's a lot of possibilities, right? So very, very much interested in what comes of that. And we'll follow that with some interest when it ultimately has results. So shout out to Vichojo on that. And for all those that applied, I just want to give a little bit of love there. Now, that said, got a little news on Niji Sanji. Now, I couldn't find this document, this actual document in the time I had. I had to restart my computer, so I couldn't find this document. But I want to give a little quick shout out, obviously, to False, because this is something I saw from False's information, from a transcript which False had pulled up. But this is from the notes, the English translated notes of the Niji Sanji meeting. And this is where it appears that someone was concerned about unauthorized lawyers, right? So this is this is obviously pulled from False's video. Niji Sanji hits a record low, but I'm reading the text of the 7th General Shareholder Meeting full transcript. Now, I'm making the assumption that this is an accurate translation. I'm making an assumption this is an accurate translation. So we're going to go off what they say here. Now, there were a bunch of questions asked during the meeting, but this specific question says, regarding the Anti-Defamation Action Team. So full pause here. This question is about this announcement because Niji Sanji has made an announcement. I covered this, that they're going to be pursuing people overseas for defamation. They're going to be expanding their action on defamation. So they're asking, okay, about this team, in a response given by the Ministry of Justice on September 12th, 2023, so last year, based on the gray zone elimination system. That's something, once again, I have to look into, but it sounds like a Japanese regulatory scheme or requirement. It was pointed out that the legal services are performed by persons who are not attorneys or legal entities for the purpose of obtaining remuneration, which means they're not legal entities for the purpose of payment. So they haven't set up a separate defamation entity that's a legal entity, like a separate defamation law firm, right? So the people that are on this team are not, which may contain non-litigious acts, which may constitute non-litigious acts. Your company's measures are. So there's a little bit of translations here. So saying essentially it's possible that what you are doing is violating the rules regarding practicing law without being a lawyer. So, yeah. Riku responded, I would like to refrain from discussing at this time our company's position on whether the activities of the anti-defamation activities team fall under this category. So literally the first sentence here, he's saying he doesn't want to talk about it. When he says that, I know what that means. I've dealt with a lot of corporations and a lot of corporate speak, especially regarding these issues. That means it's happening. That means it's happening. You don't say that if it isn't happening. This is pretty much saying and confirming it's happening in corporate speak, because they can't say straight up we're violating the law. So they can't say that, but they can't say they're not doing it, because here's the thing. If they lie in these meetings, that's a securities violation. So they can't say they're not doing it. So this is a way to say we're doing it, but we're not going to say that it's illegal. They asked them and they said, isn't what you're doing illegal? They said, well, we can't say that right now. I'm going to refrain from commenting on whether it's illegal. But Look at the second sentence. We would like to continue to take appropriate countermeasures against slander and libel. So they're going to do it anyways. They're going to do it anyways, regardless of whether they've got real lawyers or whether they've got as their representation, somebody with absolutely no license who doesn't know what they're doing at all. That means, look, these people that are working, a lot of people will give me shit and say, oh, Andrew, you're not a Japanese lawyer. You shouldn't be commenting on this. Well, guess what? I have exactly as much credentials as the Niji Sanji Any-Color Anti-Defamation team because they're not Japanese lawyers either. We're equally credentialed. I mean, I'm a lawyer in a different jurisdiction, you know? They're not even lawyers. They're just people who are going out and looking for people to sue. Why is this dangerous? Why is it dangerous that the anti-defamation team is not lawyers? Why is this problematic? Well, because people who understand defamation are very few and far between. Even amongst lawyers, a lot of lawyers are confused about defamation. Even for me, I'm very careful saying, hey, look, this is another country, whether or not it is one way or another with defamation, you got to really look at it closely. And I'll usually say, this probably is, this probably isn't, but I leave myself some wiggle room. Defamation is hard to nail down. It's hard to get right. And if you've got some kid, some literal 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid that they are paying $7 an hour, or I'm sorry, the yen just changed. Maybe it's like $7.50, right? They're paying $7.50 an hour to some child who their definition of defamation is, well, this was mean and I don't like it. Well, that's a problem because they're going to end up suing a lot of people. Someone said in the chat, this is the lawyer equivalent of V-tweeters. That could not be more accurate. That cannot be more accurate. Compared to niche lawyers, you might be overqualified, Andrew. I think I am. Speaking of overqualified, Erhatsan Kalvan started Chechen for 5 and then another 5. Thank you for the sin. Eagle Mindset 10 up in there. Thank you so much. Appreciate that support and love. Thank you. Wild K for 2 says YouTube never sends me a notification. I'm swearing. I'm sorry, bro. Try dinging the bell and then undinging it, like remove it and then re-put it, and then make sure it's for all notifications, right? Make sure you're still subscribed, all that good stuff. YouTube will do a lot of fuckery, especially with my channel, because I am a little bit too spicy for the YouTube. Also, big thing. If you're subscribed for my locals, you're never going to miss a single notification. I put it out on there every single time. Also, I put it out on X as well. So if you follow me on X, by the way, I'm now monetized on X. So thank you guys for supporting me, for retweeting me, for whatever else, because it really has been my VTuber content that has been getting more love on X and my content that's related to Japan, related to anime, related to stuff like that. So I want to give a big shout out to you guys for signal boosting me and really getting my tweets out there on X and helping me get monetized on X. So thank you very much. And by the way, as part of that, I said this to my members on locals while I was away, but I'll say it to you guys. If you see me getting a little bit more spicy on Twitter, well, it's because, hey, we're monetized now, baby. So we're in the game now. So big W. Thank you guys. It's really because of you guys that happened. Shahuna Neko, member for 5 months. Appreciate you. Also, Orkifin Platz as a new member. Welcome to the Based Legal Mindset. Appreciate you joining the highest level. We're going to have a Based Legal Mindset only stream very, very soon. JP Ravenfire said paid for 12 gift subs, but didn't go through. Hopefully it gets refunded. Dang it, YouTube. Hey, sorry about that, JP. That's really annoying. But thank you for the thought. Appreciate you, JP. You're absolutely based. Thank you. Well, King Lugia for 6 Malaysian ringgit said, the more peeps Niji sues, the more money they waste. Absolutely. The more they could spend on their talent that they're not. And one of the topics I want to talk about today, which I forgot to put in the X description, but we're going to talk a little bit about the Watchdog survey at the end, right? That's one of the things I want to talk about because there's some interest in that. In fact, I may talk about that even before the end. Maybe I'll talk about that in the middle. Yeah, we'll talk about that after I talk about BlackRock. Yeah, that's good. So we're going to talk about that. So there's a lot of money they could be spending it more efficiently. Wildcade says it makes Japan's outdated legal system look bad. Yes, and it brings more. It brings to light a lot of these laws that really don't fly in the West and don't make much sense in the West. Leprechaun Gold, thank you for the $10 super sticker, and King Luigi for the 1 Legal Mindset membership. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's get to the beef here. Idle. So let me be real with you on Idle, because and we're going to talk about the Idle Brave merger. If you haven't noticed, Idle and Brave, they announced a merger. Now I'm going to read the announcement from Idle. I'm also going to read my kind of interpretation of that. I'm also going to read Aviel's kind of short message as well. Aviel Basin, the former CEO of Idle. But just to be very clear, because I want everybody to know, Idle did pay me to review their contract, right? And to provide comments. I provided those months ago. And I did not hear back from Aviel until very recently, when he said, hey, we're about to go in major structural change, and you'll understand why everything took so long, when we announce it's going to be announced soon. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had an idea that this was it, that they were having, either a wind down or a merger or something else like that. It had to be that reason, because he just fully cut off responses after I delivered what I was supposed to deliver. And I was like, hey, what's going on with this? What's the status? You're supposed to have an interview with him, and then all of a sudden, poof. And it turns out it's a merger. So what that means is, for me and my side of this, is even if they had approved everything I said, which, by the way, I don't think they would approve every single change that I suggested. I think they'd approve maybe 75 or 50% of them, because they're very reasonable and they're very much in the protection of the VTuber without sacrificing too much from the company standpoint, right? They might even approve near 100%, but never know. It's very likely that contract never sees the light of day, both my version and their version, which is very, very disappointing, because I was waiting to do my, hey, this is a standard VTuber contract, till after they put that out, because I wanted to use that as an example of, hey, here's some baseline, here's some variability. It would have been nice to talk about, but I don't get to do that now. So I'm still going to put out, hey, here's a standard contract. I just can't say here's the Idle contract anymore, because Idle does not exist. They're winding down. And therefore, even if I did have permission, which I don't, to release the draft version of their contract, it wouldn't matter, because Brave, now that they've assumed that ownership, is going to have a different agreement. It's going to have, and they do have different agreements. So we're going to get into that. We're going to do that very, very shortly, because obviously I am upset. I'm upset that I didn't get to talk about this more, because this is something I'm very, very much passionate about, particularly the contracts, and being able to get a better contract into the hands, particularly of indies who may not know and they're thinking of signing or doing something else. It's so good to have a baseline or standard contract form. And now that's something that potentially got taken away, because they're not there to put it out there. And Aviel had said, hey, we're going to put out this contract for everyone to see. So I'll start with Aviel's comments. I'll start with his first. So here we have from Aviel. This is his statement. He was the CEO of Idle. He said, dear Idle fans and followers, I'd like to announce that I'll be stepping down as CEO of Idle and passing the bandwagon to the Brave Group. It is surreal to say goodbye to something that has been such a big part of my life, but it's time for a new chapter for both Idle and me. When I founded Idle, it was about giving amazing creators the spotlight they deserve and challenging what VTuber agencies should be. Looking back, I'm amazed how far we've come, and I'm grateful for every moment. I've wished the best of luck to the Brave Group, and I'm excited, genuinely excited about what this means for Idle. They're just as passionate and committed to taking our original vision to the next level, and I trust them to lead Idle into a promising future. To everyone that's been part of the journey, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support during the highs and lows kept us going. As I move on, I take with me not just memories, but invaluable experiences and lessons I will cherish forever. I can't wait to see how Idle grows and evolves, and here's to new beginnings, continued success, and maybe our paths crossing again someday. With all my thanks, Aviel Basin. So very nice sentiment here. I do believe it's heartfelt. However, I will say it's gonna end, right? So Idle, as we know it, is not going to continue to grow and evolve. It's going to end, right? Now, the folks that may be part of it or that were part of it, the VTubers that were, in that group, obviously they can choose whether to stay or to go. And we're going to read about that in the kind of Idle announcement. But it's not, if they stay, it's not going to be the same way as it was. And that's an obvious thing in mergers and acquisitions. And it's also obvious from the Idle statement. So let's look at the Idle statement here. And once again, I'm trying to be very, very fair here because I did have good interactions with Aviel, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pull punches and tell it one way when it is another way. I'm just 100% honest. And that's always been my thing, is just being honest, even if it's a situation where I got paid. And once again, I didn't get paid to lie for them or cover, do propaganda or anything else. It's just to give my comments on a contract as a one-off project, right? Right now, I'm no longer engaged because I've submitted that project. So I have no contractual duty to them, no client duty, other than the fact that I would keep confidential the version of their contract that they distributed to me, because they have not specifically authorized me to release that. Right. Other than that duty of confidentiality, all my other duties are pretty much released at this point because I've completed what I was tasked to do. Announcement from the Idle VTuber agency. Dear fans, 3 years ago, Idle was founded. I'm going to see if I can get this a little bit. Nah, that's too. That's all right. We'll do it. Idle was founded with minimal resources and a vision to support talents and maintain transparency within our community. Well, one problem is the minimal resources. When you've got minimal resources, it does make it tough, really tough. Over the years, as we've grown and expanded our talent roster, maintaining the same level of support and operational efficiency has become increasingly challenging. Well, that's the thing. As you scale, you're going to have a problem with economy of scale. You're going to have a problem with, hey, are we actually leveling up? Or not, right? And when you level up, you need to hire more people, and that costs money, and people are expensive. And it's hard to, I'll tell you one thing, it's hard to get people that are competent too, right? You may get somebody that thinks they can do a job, but can they? To address these challenges and continue our mission, we are excited to announce that Idle has been acquired by Brave Group. So this part is the true part. So Brave Group is bigger. So there are some things, particularly when it comes to regulatory stuff, legal stuff, right? That a group which already has a US presence, which Brave does, and we're going to look at that. They've already got a presence in the US. They've already got IP in the US, right? So that's a big one for Brave. That's going to be an advantage. It's going to be a big advantage. It's going to be a big advantage because having that office where you're also working with V4 Mirai, with Oshi Live, and then throw an Idle in there, they've already got experience on that. They've got, two separate with V4 Mirai and Idle with the platform of Oshi Live. You've got a lot of stuff there moving in the US group. So going back to this, the strategic move will allow us to continue supporting our talents with more resources and operational efficiency, more money. What they mean is more money. Brave Group US shares our passion for VTubing and is committed to our original vision. We believe we can elevate Idle to new heights. Talents will have the opportunity, here it is, to continue with Brave Group under the new structure or to become the indies with their existing characters and social media accounts. I don't think anybody else, and I watched a couple other folks cover this. I don't think anybody knows what this means. What this means is their current contract is dead. So they are shredding the current contract in signing a new contract, going into a new agreement, a new structure with Brave, right? Because now that can be good or bad. I have not seen the Brave contract. However, they are, and this is a big plus, I actually do agree with this, to become indies with their existing characters in social media. That's really laudable. So this option, giving them the option to become an indie, is huge. And I actually really celebrate that. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great opportunity. And I love giving that modularity where, hey, look, if you want to take your character and go, we're going to let you go because we want you to be happy and successful. And we want to go off with a good reputation. So we're going to let you go. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. And I'm going to say this. Brave was probably not happy about that clause. Brave was probably not happy about that clause. Not happy at all. Because if you buy a company from the buyer's perspective, what are you buying? Especially if you buy a VTuber agency, what does it matter? What does the logo of Idle Corporation get them? Nothing. What does the administration or the one or two employees get them? Nothing. The only thing worth a damn in Idle is the talent themselves. That's the only thing that's worth a damn, is the IP and the talent themselves. So if you go into a deal and you're saying, hey, you could lose the entire value of the deal. They could all leave. They could just leave. And you will get nothing, sirs. That's kind of nuts. That is kind of nuts. And I do wonder how much they offered, because they're saying they can take their existing characters. So they're saying, essentially, we're going to give you the IP. Because that's the only way it would work. Yeah, Lydia says it right here. What's up, Lydia? Good to see you. Yeah. Which says it's like buying a sports team. If you don't get the players, what's the point? Exactly. It's like, well, you get the mascot. It's like saying you bought, I just think about, I grew up in Miami, right? I went to University of Miami games, right? And I'm like, okay, you bought the University of Miami, but all the players left. You only get Sebastian the Ibis. I'm like, nobody gives a fuck about Sebastian the Ibis. Sebastian the Ibis is not winning fucking games. Okay? Like the idols are the ones bringing it home. And without the goddamn idols, what is this? It's not Idle. It's empty. It's empty Idle. So I don't know how much they docked or what the deal was with payment here. Maybe even because we don't know. Remember, this is a private company and this is a private acquisition. So private company acquiring a private company. Maybe they're paying them based on the amount of IP they ultimately end up gaining and the people they ultimately end up signing. I don't know. I don't know how that works out. I have no clue. I've been given no deal about that. But I would, if I was a lawyer for Brave, I would say, what are we getting here? And mind you guys, I've gone through mergers and acquisitions, both an acquisition and a merger. In fact, I was merged out. The fun fact, when my company went to merge, so they were acquired by a larger company. We acquired several smaller companies, but then we in turn were acquired by a giant company. They initially thought they needed to fire a bunch of people, but they realized they literally couldn't do the work. So like, well, we're going to keep you guys on, but you're contractors. I'm like, okay, that works for me. You're telling me I don't have to go to the office? Like, yeah. Like you don't get to work 40 hours a week. Oh no. Oh Lord, I don't get to work 40 hours. Oh gosh, golly. Whatever will I do? In Korean. In Seoul. It was great. But yeah. Brave Group and Idle are aware of past operational issues, so they're acknowledging some of the issues they had regarding payment of vendors and slow payment, and are dedicated to resolving them and branding future occurrences. We will provide a clear timeline for delivery of all previously unshipped merchandise. Any items that cannot be shipped will be refunded. Additionally, if any freelancer has issues with an open invoice prior to the acquisition, please reach out directly to payments@idlecompany.com. We understand it's a significant change. We appreciate your patience and continued support as we navigate this exciting new chapter. Please look forward to a follow-up statement in the coming weeks with more detailed information. Thanks for your partner in our community. Sincerely, Idle. So that's the statement right there. Okay, let me read. There's a lot of comments on this. Let me read them all here. Elizabeth Rose, Bloodflame, Rosarian, Manando Sword said almost half a year to the most based membership. Yeah, we're at half a year just about. When we get through February a bit, we'll be at half a year since I came into the VTuber world, and I am so happy to be here. So glad to be with you guys. Wildcade says some of Idols are pretty good. I worry for them, but I think they'll be okay even if they go indie. And Herzog Kyle von Osai Chechen said, before the stream, I said that I would gift 45 memberships after I gifted 10, but I thought, why not 5 more? So I did it. So we have 60 new members. Thank you so much, guys. 60 new members. Thank you in chat for the condolences. Yeah, seriously, my love and appreciation goes out to you. And I'm just glad we can have fun here, Herzog Kyle, in this chat. And we can all have an bisschen Spaß in this channel, you know, Sanuk Mak Mak, as they might say here in Thailand. It's a good time. It's a good time here in the legal mindset. In fact, I wouldn't rather be with anyone else than you guys.
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
And that's why I love you. Oyamada says, are you itching to get a copy of Vichojo? No comment on that. No comment. What does no comment mean, guys? What have we learned today in class? Hold on, I'll do a Riku. Ready? Here's my Riku impression. Hold on, I'm going to do a Riku impression. Hold on, I got this, guys. Hold on, let me do this. Let me change hold on, I got this. I got my Riku impression. Okay, you guys ready? All right, here we go. We're ready? I will refrain from commenting on whether or not the Vishojo contract in the copy is in the or in not if possession exists or does not exist. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Sumimasen. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, 90-degree bow. 90-degree bow. I can't 90-degree bow. I'm in a chair. How can 90-degree bow? I'd be like, all right, there we go. You guys got the legal headset over there. Legal headset. Linmar says, hey, Andrew, I think this is very bad for the talents because there's no way they will have the same level of contracts that the EU and EU-like contracts. EU contracts have a lot more benefit and protections. US ones, I agree. And frankly, look, the US is not perfect, right? It's better than Japan. But it ain't perfect. Now, that said, I do wish them the best. I do hope they have good contracts. I hope that, they're fair. And I will say this. I am going to put out a stream in the very near future, the next week or so, because of this news. I am going to respond by putting out what I consider standard contract language, right? So that is going to happen within the next week. I've got a couple of big topics I've got to catch up on since I was on vacation, covering Mr. Beast tomorrow morning, or rather it's going to be, tomorrow morning for me, evening EST. That's going to be a topic I needed to cover and catch up on. But after that, very shortly, I will have that contract language. And that's going to be a banger of a contract. And I'll make sure to get that out there and publish that for all you guys to look at as a resource for indies, and also as a resource for these talents as they re-sign their contracts, if they re-sign their contracts. One dickhead gifted 10 legal mindset memberships. One dickhead always ringing up, picking up that phone and saying,
Hello, Special Department.
Thank you, one dickhead. Stay hard. Battle Mage says that clause puts it on Brave to make the contract attractive. They might have a good contract if Brave agreed to that clause. It might be true. And who knows? I don't know, guys. Maybe the Brave contract is better than Idle. Maybe it is. It could be. So I do hold out hope that it is. But like Lenmar said, I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. Crimson Splat says, I thought Idle had historically allowed the VTubers to own their IP. I was it someone else? Wouldn't they be required to honor that? If that's what their contract had in it, what probably could happen is, since this is technically Idle breaching like their side of the agreement or ending their side of the agreement, yeah, there would be some remedies there to fulfill that if that was part of the contract. But them just owning it outright, not always. I don't believe that was always the case. I'd have to go back and double check the contract. But I don't think that was always the case. Also, this is a good point from Fred, which I like to point out that they didn't say in the letter the option to continue as indie with their persona didn't come with a cost. Yes, they did not say they did not have to buy out the IP. So there's nothing about this statement, because once again, here it says talents will have the option to continue with Brave Group or become indies. It doesn't say they're not going to have to pay. Now, that would be a dick move. It would be a dick move. But still. Wildcade said many VTuber agencies fail simply because they don't find a niche. FaZe is successful because they have, and I don't think Idle ever found one. Yeah. It's very, very important to find a niche and work that niche, baby. You need to niche. Especially now, maybe even micro niche, right? A niche within a niche. Lion NMX for 50 Mexican pesos says, how likely is it they offer that now after the talents accept if they decide to leave afterwards and they're no longer keep their model IP? That may be the new deal. If I was Brave Group, because, okay, let's go to what Brave Group is, okay? So Brave Group is not some like bunch of saints out here. Brave Group is a giant holding company, okay? They were a holding company. They were established in 2017. They're headquartered in Tokyo. Now, this is for the holding company. So mind you, Brave US is a US company. We're going to look at where they're headquartered, right? We're going to look at where they're headquartered. But they are ultimately a Japanese company with 342 employees. So mind you, this is very, very, very relevant. And it is not standard in the Japanese mind to give generous termination offers. To give a bunch of generous termination offers. The president is Kaito Noguchi. They're located in Shiba Minato-ku, Tokyo. Same ward as Niji Sanji Anycon. They do IP, platform, esports, XR, DX, incubation. They got a bunch here. They've got virtual entertainment, Riot Music, Mate Real, Andy Puck, Meta Labs, Game & Co., Endless, Geek Hive, Lara, which is huge, D1, Smart Prize, Brave Group Europe, Brave Group US, Brave Group APAC, Thailand, which I looked it up. The Thailand office, this is kind of hilarious. Let me show you here real quick. The Thailand office, this is not going to dox me or anything, but this office is like 10 minutes away from where I live in Thailand here, right? In good old Prakanam in Klong Toi, Bangkok on Sukhumvit Road. I know exactly where this is. But yeah, they've got even a Thai branch, and they've actually established these companies. Let's look at real quick the U.S. company. Where is the U.S. company? It's in California, baby. In 95 3rd Street, 2nd floor, San Francisco, California, 94103, baby. They are in the most restrictive, state in the whole union, other than perhaps Hawaii. Now, the good thing is for the talents is that the talents will now have a damn good argument that they are California employees and that they could be protected by California labor law, which for a worker is not bad. It's actually a good argument. And they've got an actual corporation there and actually one that's established, has an address and everything else. Also, if they need to have a lawsuit, they can sue. And there's an actual address to deliver the lawsuit to. They need to file a labor law complaint. They can file it with the California Labor Commission. And I've talked about this before. I talked about it with Sayu. I am very convinced that if they went to the California Labor Commission, despite what the contract says, which, spoiler alert, almost all contracts are going to say they're independent contractors, not employees. Doesn't matter. The Labor Commission is going to look at it. They're going to wipe their butt with it and say they're employees. Our regulatory power applies. So, yeah, we talked about a lot with Sayu. A lot. So this might actually be for the workers a little bit of a W, a little bit of a protection. Once again, California is a double-edged sword. For if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But if you're an employee, you love California, right? What's not to love about California? And let me just show you real quick Brave Group and all their acquisitions, because this group, and this is the pattern, which I'm not sure a lot of people recognize, but this is a very concerning pattern. So they've been eating up all of these small companies. So in 2022 June, they got Virtual Entertainment, Mate Riel, Mugen Live. Then they got Geek Hive in 2023 in July. Then they got Lara in 2023 November, and D1 in 2023 November. Then they got 2024 Smart PR, Smart Price, whatever. Smart Price. 2024. August, Idle. So they've got all this. What do they have? A global network, business support, meaning just more money. And they do some projects and collabs and other stuff like that. Right? But look, their CEO, very much Japanese CEO. Brave Group has managed to grow by providing the means to those with a pioneering spirit to develop an environment allowing everyone to excel. It's committed to maintaining those efforts in order to become a world-class company. Okay, that's all corporate speak, but you know what the point is here? I'll tell you what their point is. They see companies that are not being run efficiently. And so you don't acquire anything, you don't buy something that's functioning properly, right? You see inefficiencies. You see places you can cut and make a lot of money or save a lot of money. For example, in staff, you may say, we already have staff that do that. So you can fire all your staff. We've already got people. We're going to do it with less staff, or we're going to do it more efficiently. And that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to take it, and this is where I'm very concerned. This is where I'm extremely concerned. Another profit would be the percentage shared with the VTubers. They could say, look at these hippies. They are out here given a cut that is very, very generous. That is the industry leader. Their cut, they've already put out their cut, right? We can just take a smaller cut, even if it's like a percentage or two more, and it won't be scandalous. It won't, it won't be something that people will be enraged about, but we'll make more money even on an extra percent or two. And then eventually we can sell it or spin it off, right? Once we make it more efficient and maybe start bundling groups together and selling them off as a whole package, including their IP, merch rights, etc. Because once again, why are you buying talent for the IP? If you're not able to use that and sell that, well, what are you buying? That's probably why the talents can leave, because they know what they're in for a ride with Brave Group. They may not end up with Brave Group in 5 years, 3 years, whatever. And I know people say it sounds evil. Well, once again, I'm explaining how this stuff works. You can view it however you want to view it. That's your own moral choice, whether this is evil, whether this is bad, good, whatever. I'm just telling you the facts. You guys can be your own judge. Whether you think that's evil or not. Right. Personally, I don't think making money in and of itself is evil. I think there's ways you can do it that are good, ways you can do it that are bad. But I do think people should be fully informed. And, especially for you guys who are fans of VTubing, I think you should be fully informed of what's happening with your favorite creators. Right. Also, just real quick, the CEO, this is the CEO of Brave Group US, right? Mr. Norikazu Hayashi. Norikazu Hayashi. He's been working in the Bay Area. Well, he started in like 2014 to present. He was in the Bay Area as an advisor on iPage. He was an advisor at Absol in Tokyo. Founder of Game & Cat. And CEO of Metabash. And now CEO of Brave Group USA. So this is him right here. This is your new Aviel. Because he has stepped down. So Norikazu Hayashi. He's above even the individual leader of whoever they're going to put the manage idol. He's above the whole group for the US group. So he's the real big boss. What else do I want to point out? I think that was it. That's what I got there. Let me read these chats and get all this here. Heads Girl gifted another 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. Absolutely appreciate it. And to all those that are members and that have become members, all I have to say is,
Hello, what up, nuds?
welcome to the coolest membership out there and the only BLM worth joining. Zeke Susari, Suzra, welcome as a new member. Appreciate you joining up here. Let's see. And then we also had Eric H, who's a member at the BLM level. Super base chat over here says Brave has a chance to set themselves up as a very attractive new talents if they offer a good contract to the old talents to sign with them. And can they say that they had a choice? Yes, this is something that Brave could fuck up. So if Brave gives them a good contract and they all sign, they look good. If none of them sign with Brave, that shit is going to be bad. Very bad. If they walk. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame Rosarian Monando Sword says also if Rin Primrose stay, I can be convinced that their contract is decent enough because Rin is the idol's biggest talent. Surely Brave doesn't want to lose her. Yeah, they probably are trying to make that contract as lucrative as possible. Lion says, how likely is that they can offer that now, but after the contract accept that they decide to leave afterwards, then they will no longer keep their IP model? I said it's possible. Did say it's possible. Also, John Collar pointed out niche within a niche. That's Andrew. VTuber inside a legal tuber. So true. So true. But to be serious though, it's certainly me within the legal sphere. What other lawyer covers VTuber topics? None. Either because they think they don't understand and they don't even know what anime is, right? Or they think it's evil. They think it's all like really degenerate stuff, right? Or they're just confused. So yeah, it's me. But it's cool. I'm happy to be that, and I'm happy to be your lawyer. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, Rosaria Monando Sword says, at Expo, they teased a new group of talents before Idol bought by Brave. Maybe they need to sign a new contract with Brave. Question is, what do you think the last contract they signed is overwritten? Yes, at the end, once the merger happens and there's no more Idol, they have to either agree to a new contract or kind of that's it. Because their old contract is sunset because Idol as an entity no longer exists. It's now assumed or merged into Brave. Now, a lot of times those contracts can be assigned, but a lot of times they need to be assigned with consent. Walking Corpse for 10 says, I'm from California. I'd rather amputate my left foot than go back. You sound like a lot of my friends from Canada here in Bangkok. They're like, no. I'm like, would you go back to Canada? And they're like, no. Oh gosh. Okay. Is Andrew arguing that anime isn't degenerate? I mean, look, listen. It's degenerate, but I'm not always, when I'm watching anime, it's sometimes wholesome. Sometimes it's not.
Disgusting.
It can be wholesome. It has the potential. Or Siegel said, well, hello, hello, hello. Well, hello to you too, Or Siegel. All right. Speaking of degeneracy and also speaking of investment in our favorite companies, we had a little bit of a question here. It popped up on the old Kurosanji subreddit. Oh, Kurosanji. So apparently, BlackRock is now a part owner of Hololive. They bought in with a 0.56 share. Good old BlackRock getting the Hololive here. And a lot of people were very concerned about this. And I want to say, and shout out to my good friend Permaband, I'm going to read one of his tweets later. There is some cause for concern, but there are also real legal and regulatory limitations to them doing the shit they do in the United States. So I'm going to explain both, right? So if someone says, who is BlackRock? What is BlackRock? Well, BlackRock is a company that, let's say, invested in a lot of American companies and foisted upon them the parameters of ESG, environmental social governance, and DEI, something you've heard about that's been very controversial, and even within the United States is now being rolled back in many corporations, or they're realizing, okay, this is something we're just putting lip service into, but we're not actually going to do anything about it. There is pushback against it. It is winning. Now, the bite's not over. You can talk to good old Kirsha about Bridge. She'll tell you that there's a lot of stuff within America that they're trying to push. But the bigger concern is this stuff coming into Japan. Because if you look over here, you can see there is a concerted interest in investing in Japan. A lot of people want to get into Japan. Why? Because anime is selling and Disney sucks. Anybody who knows me knows I cover Disney a lot. Now, I was asked by my good friend Valiant Renegade, who actually emailed me and asked me if I want to come by this evening and talk about the X lawsuit. I will tell him I will be sleeping then. But I do appreciate him. I appreciate his invite. Appreciate when he slides into my DMs or my text messages on my phone. But one of the reasons why that's failing is because they have such a strong commitment to DEI. In fact, I looked at one of the indexes on one of the corporate watchdogs. I think it's As You Sow. And they had an index asyousow.org had an index for like corporate responsibility and all this shit. Let's see if I can find it real quick. See if I can find it. I think it's a work. Here it is. Okay. So this is a typical corporate watchdog. Now in the West, right? In the West. Okay. What has it got here? It's got a racial justice scorecard, a workplace equity scorecard, a plastic promises scorecard, a impact of the energy sector fund report, paying for climate performance, proxy voting guidelines, like all this other stuff in here, right? Most overpaid CEOs, right? So if you go into workplace equity, let's go into that real quick. It's going to be fun, right? It gives you rankings. Who is up here in the top 10 of all American companies? Who is in the top 10? Good old Disney. Also got PayPal, Union Pacific, Amalgamated Bank, Wabtec, Eversource, Sempra Energy, Philip Morris, Real Diverse, Albertsons, American Electric Power. Who are the ones who suck? ZipRecruiter is at 0. Oh my God. It's a 0.
Hello, Peso Department.
Oh, Vishay, Top Golf, bro. Top Golf, bro. Top Golf. Top Golf is horribly based. Brinks, Kindle, Lumen, Southern Copper Corporation, Flowserve, First Citizens, and fucking Texas Roadhouse, baby. Texas Roadhouse, guys. Make sure you go out there and give some love to Texas Roadhouse with a 0% at the bottom of the barrel here. We're giving some love to Texas Roadhouse. So obviously, they're on that. Actually, let's go back here because I believe also if you go to the racial justice scorecard, let's go to that one too. Yes, Disney is at the top of that too. They're number 3, the racial justice. Also, mind you, in this one, racial justice, Visa and Microsoft, right? Visa and Microsoft. If you ever wonder why all the payment process, and look at this PayPal too. So you wonder why the payment processors are here. You wonder why all the naughty based boys get banned and get debanked. It's because all these two are here. Visa, MasterCard's not far below, by the way. But who's at the bottom? Orion, Sunco, Clean Harbor, Olin, Huntsman, Westlake, Berkshire Hathaway, Amplify, SunCoke. These guys have a freaking negative racial score. Negative racial score. So anyways, that's the sort of thing BlackRock made this happen. BlackRock made this stuff happen. Right? So just understand that's BlackRock. BlackRock. And they're interested in Japan. Once again, here, this is from the BlackRock site. You can see right here, BlackRock Insights. Unlocking the power in Japan. Japan has been undergoing a profound transformation with inflation and corporate reforms turning it in what do we believe is an attractive investment opportunity. Against this backdrop, it's time to rethink portfolio allocations to Japan. We believe Japan exposures can help build portfolio resilience. So they're pushing investment in Japan. So in accordance with that, they did what they do. They're an investing company. They invested in Japan. And there would be nothing wrong with that if they wouldn't try to do these things in other companies. And what was brought up here by Permaband, over here, give me the band hammer, over here on Twitter, shout out, says, a general reminder, those who downplay BlackRock crawling into Cover Corp and HoloLife, here is AnyColor and Nijisanji share ownership for comparison. Remember, AnyColor makes ESG reports and ESG pandering, and we can all see what's happening with Nijisanji, I'm sure. So here is the foreign shares, or rather, it's a percentage of shares. You've got Vanguard with 1.73% and BlackRock with 0.42%. So these activist investors own about 2.1, 2.2 percent. So a very small percent. But certainly it's no mistake that Nijisanji is doing ESG reports and ESG pandering, even when only 2% is there. Why is that? Why is that? It's not because they're forced to, because they don't have majority ownership. And this is a very important point. So unlike in America, you can't just willy-nilly go in and invest in stuff. There are limitations. And of course, there's limitations in the US. But one of the big limits, you cannot, in Japan, a Japanese company, I believe, either cannot be or there's severe restrictions on owning over 20% of the company. So foreign ownership should be 20%. So it's not possible for them to be the single brick owner that kind of owns everything, that comes in and buys out. However, here is where they convince foreign companies. Because in America, you can use arguments for DEI and other things like that by saying, well, this is something that we should do. This is something the people of America want. And therefore, you, American company, need to do it. And also you can say, we're requiring you to do that, or we're not going to invest in your company. Or in America, they can just buy 51% of the shares or controlling stakes and say, we're going to force you to do this, whether you like it or not. We own 70% of your company, 60% of your company. We will force you to do this. I'm sorry. We're just forcing you to do it. They can do that in America. They can't do that over there. Here's what they will do, though. They'll say, you want foreign investment. Well, foreign investors, they want ESG. They want DEI. And that was a very persuasive argument. And I think a lot of companies, particularly the Sonys of the world, they bought these arguments. And Niji Sanji, I can think to a certain extent, buys this argument, says, oh, the West wants this. So we want Western money, and therefore we need to do this to get Western money. So we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. But now that it's been a while, people are seeing this. And how do I know this? Well, I was just in Japan. And I was having a very nice conversation at a very nice bar with somebody who works for a very large Japanese automotive agency. It was very enlightening for me. He spoke very good English, which was surprising because most people in Japan don't speak good English. But when I asked him, I casually asked him, I'm like, so hey, like, have you guys heard about DEI? And he just laughed. And he was like, yeah, but we've learned not to take that seriously anymore. And I'm like, like quietly as I go back to drinking, like, I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm not going to say which company. It's in the general area of Nagoya, the general region. Leave you guys to figure that one out. Right? I was like, very based. But they learned to realize it's ridiculous. They learned to realize, hey, this is something that, like, Asia is catching on. See, when it's a new fad, they're like, oh, we want to make sure we catch the new fad. We want to make sure to catch the new thing. But it's not new anymore. It's now old. It's now the dead horse. And they're actually seeing that a lot of this is deranged and crazy. And they're saying, well, this is not working. The Japanese game developers, some of them that have gone and adopted the ESG guidelines and the design guidelines, for example, that say you need to design characters that are size inclusive or whatever else, or type A and type B or whatever else instead of anything else. You need to go do this, right? They're looking at Korean developers, Chinese developers that don't do that and are making bank, and they're going, wait a second. Well, why didn't we just do that? They're making money. And ultimately, particularly in Asia, money talks. There's one thing that talks over here. It's money, right? So, yeah, like Concord. Very good example. Right here. If it makes money, we don't care. That's what I'm saying. If it makes money, they don't really care. Money is king. And ultimately, DEI doesn't make money. That's it. That's the end of the story. So I'm not worried too much, but I am worried that, once again, look, am I worried that they could try to exert some influence? Yes. But I think the best thing that we can continue to do is show that these initiatives don't work. They don't make money. They're not profitable. And all of the corporations that are following them in America are not successful. I think if you want to fight that, you want to push back against that, that is the best way to push back against that. Now, if you love DEI, you think it's great, cool. I mean, I don't know what to say to you. The corporations that objectively adopt those principles tend to be very non-profitable, which ends up hurting them in the long run. Also, they tend to give lip service to those principles. Well, I use the Walt Disney Corporation as a prime example, which, while it holds itself out there as a pillar of DEI and all this other stuff, it doesn't pay their workers. It literally neglects workers. It pays them below the minimum wage, tries to find loopholes, tries to get them out of benefits. When they sue, it fights them tooth and nail. I mean, it's bad. So just wanted to point that out there for you guys. Now, let me get these super chats. Then we're going to talk about this watchdog thing, because this also came out of a discussion I had, not with the particular executive, but a different discussion I had. King Lugia. So did I hear that right? BlackRock is DEI ick. BlackRock is DEI. Yes, they indeed do get by that. Now, that said, I'll be fair. Does BlackRock force DEI on every entity they invest, even a small amount of? No. But have they tried to do that when they have a minority position? Yes. Have they done that successfully when they had a minority position? Yes. So it's not the end of the world here. It's just something people should be aware of. They should keep an eye on it. And they should make sure that their favorite companies know that they are not interested in that. And that's fine. Keep letting them know on social media, hey, I'm not interested in this. Hey, I don't want this. Hey, we don't need this, right? We don't need an Oshi equity check. We don't need to do the Hoyoverse thing where we're doing like holding up, skin tone palettes and saying, okay, we got to have Oshis that are all along this spectrum, and we're not representing over here, so therefore we got to diversify. We got too many cats and dogs. Somebody's got to be the pangolin. Who's going to be the pangolin? We got to have pangolin representation. How about my narwhals? Got to get some narwhal models out there. It heads on call of an Österreich. Another 5. Thank you so much for the foomf. Also, give him $1. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yinka said nothing wrong with bigger women. Just makes them hot. That's fine. And hey, listen, to each your own. If you want to make it, that's fine. But why not give the ability to make big women and sexy women? That's fine, and let people choose. I'm okay with choice, and your choice is your choice. I've never tried to force anybody into one thing or another, but I'm saying, why are you eliminating one option but allowing another? Why not just allow both? If you want to make really attractive models, you can. If you want to make an ugly model, that's fine. Make an ugly model. Make a ham beast. That's fine. It's up to you. But why are you eliminating one side and only allowing the other? That's a suspicious thing. Because if you gave the option to make a butterball turkey or a nice svelte ship of the line, those cannons are going to be stacked up and not a lot of ham. You know what I mean? LCPL anime guy says, BR, keep your hands off my entertainment, you PO. Yeah. BlackRock really, really, really spread out. Now, listen, could it be an innocuous investment? Sure. Are there limitations, regulatory limitations? Sure. But will they try to influence companies? Yes. Will they try to whisper in their ear like Worm Tongue in Lord of the Rings? Oh, master, you must obey the agenda. Oh, if you don't, the West will turn on you. They'll turn. I can see that. Wildcade said, this is why Aqua is graduating. We don't know that. That's speculation. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame says, I just want to state, I doubt BlackRock is the reason for Aqua graduation. In fact, let her graduate in peace. Fubuki and Sarah are still there. Reminder. Yeah, a lot of speculation on why she's graduating. I think it's just probably the reason that's stated, to be honest. Leprechaun Gold for 20. Thank you so much, Leprechaun Gold. Appreciate that. It's been a little while before I saw you supporting, so welcome back. Yinka said, I might get radicalized against this again. I'm not against that. Yinka said, make them hot, not makes them hot. True. And Shane says, ugly cannot compete in a free marketplace against what people find beautiful, so they rigged the competition. The market is populist. Yeah. I agree with that. They know it. It's so obvious too. It's like, if you have a really ugly model, you might have a niche appeal, but it's never going to be as big as the mass appeal. And VTubing proves that. But once again, imagine if equity comes to VTubing. I've said this before. Imagine if you're required to have VTuber models of all shapes and sizes, and actually you are banned from having a VTuber that has what they define as a unrealistic body type, which is skinny. You've got to be like flat justice and like square like. Your chin's got to be square. You got to have the kind of the grog chin. Right? They'd be ridiculous, but that can happen if you are not careful. Just saying. Just saying. But they're also, that's the true thing. The good thing about VTubing is there's a lot of indies. There are a lot of indies. So it would be difficult to do it. All right. So this is an interesting project. So I and this link is it's pinned. It's pinned. Okay. So I was speaking with someone in Japan and they got with me and said, Andrew, I would love to like help out or invest or contribute, but I really want to like figure out what's the biggest problem with VTubers and what type of data would they want, what type of information would they want about VTuber agencies, about corporations. Because one thing we've been doing is trying to keep corporations responsible. We've trying to keep them under the spotlight. We've trying to make sure they're acting right, so they're treating the talent correctly, right? And so that the industry, which is unregulated, has a little bit more oversight. And I said, well, so you're talking about like more data in the way that like these watchdog agencies collect data. And I said, yeah, they said, yeah, sure. I said, well, let me ask my audience. Let me put out a poll here because a lot of you guys have been watching VTubers and VTubers for longer than I have. So I don't try to presume that I know everything, right? Because I don't. And many of you have been watching people for far longer than I have. So why would I rely on my own opinion on this? Well, I can just ask you guys. We got 1,000 of you in the chat right now. If even half of you do this, and 100% of you smash the like button, because we're only at a mere meager 400 likes. Come on, we got to get to 500. Got to get to 500. That said, if we can figure out what the biggest problems are and what data you guys like, that would be really helpful. We can get this stuff to you. So I put it together a simple question. It just is, how long have you been a fan of virtual YouTubers? Less than 6 months. That's me. I'm coming to 6 months, but I'm right here, right? So that'd be me. 6 months to a year, 1 to 3 years, 3 years. What is the greatest problem facing the VTuber industry? So you could answer bad contracts. You could answer exploitive corporations. You could answer abusive management. Whatever you want, models, intellectual property, artists, whatever you think is the biggest problem. I want your answers to that. Then what information would you like to know? So what do you want to know about these corporations? Do you want to know their finances? Do you want to know how they run? Do you want to know their management style? Do you want to know how they do the application process? What information do you want to know about them, right? And then I said, okay, if we could get data, because we can try to obtain this data. Some of it's public, some of it we can make an analysis on. Some of this we can finagle or do ourselves, like forms and templates, right? What information, what data would you like to see? So if there's a website, we create a website, what data would you like to see? Like company comparisons, like ranking each company against each other. Now, by the way, this would be done in a way to equalize size so that, for example, a company that has 5 talents is not just in raw number of views of videos compared against HoloLive or Nijisanji, right? It's perhaps on a per talent basis, maybe also looking at investment per talent, also like percentage of its profit that's reinvested, stuff like that, right? Financial health, working conditions, right? So are they getting a lot of reports? Is there anything bad coming out about them? Also, individual VTuber rankings or comparisons. So comparing the profitability or the functioning or the success of indie VTubers, or also individual VTubers in those companies, whatever you guys are interested in. Also, name your favorite VTuber, platforms, and things you've done to support your favorite VTubers. So just let me know with that so I can know a little bit of data for you guys. And with this information, we should be able to get this going. This is a very interesting potential project, which I'll have help with, and I'll enlist. I have somebody to help with, and we definitely would enlist help on. Hopefully, we can improve the VTuber scene, because my goal has always been to improve this area and to bring more information and knowledge and objectivity to an area that is very emotional. And we're about to talk about an issue which is very emotional. We're about to talk about the Taiga stuff. It's very emotional. So anytime I can bring more objectivity, more facts to this area, I love it, because it's grounding the conversation. It's putting all on the same basis. I actually need more lines from my favorite part. I get it. We need more muscle mommy representation. I'm not objecting to that at all. I do like that. It has a confidence like 75 gifts, which could give you more love. Love you, chat, Nella. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. That's more than enough. Hey, listen, you've supported a ton. Thank you for that. And thank you all, chat, for being so great and so warm. And especially, when people just need love and need somebody. I'm glad the chat's there for them. And this has always been a place I want to bring positivity and focus on positivity in the chat. Silbury said, TLDR, stop policing representation. If you want to be represented, make your own. Stop hijacking, damn it. I'm late, OTL. That's why you were replying. Yeah, no, I agree with that. If you want to be represented, make a character that you feel represents you. Just do it. Don't force somebody to change what's already out there. That's the problem. Vadsky 90 said, I'm late for the party. It's BlackRock. Rewind the video or wait for the clip because I know my boy Eagle. He's going to be on it. Hypnotic and Rapture said BR/VG uglification of women in our entertainment. Indeed. All right. You know what? Let's play one clip because we need a little palate cleanser before we go into this. I want to play a short one. So this is, I got a bunch here, but let's have Bao confused everyone with her Australian moment. That sounds like a fun one. Let's do this palate cleanser before we get into Taiga. And also big love for Eagle here. Eagle's flying high today in the chat. Thank you guys. Much love for my clipper. He's a really great guy. He really gets on my stuff. In fact, he's already done the clip from the clip on Mr. Beast, on Coffeezilla and Logan. He's already done that one, and I haven't had time to get the thumbnail and put it up. So he is really an animal. Appreciate that guy. All right. So we've got Val confused everyone with her Australian moment.
Wait, it's the final?
It's the final.
Yeah. Final. Really? Already? Katana versus Fauna.
Yes.
It's real.
Come on, Team Bunnings Snag. Let's go.
What?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Bunnings Snag?
Yeah,
Bunnings
don't worry about it.
Hanya? Explain.
It's an Aussie thing. Don't worry about it. It's a hardware store called Bunnings.
For what?
Woo! It's like hardware. Like you can buy like construction stuff. Like
For
like
what?
That.
Oh, I thought you said for bunnies.
No. The name is called Bunnings. The name of the store. Yeah.
Oh.
And they have really nice sausage sizzles.
No. They have food and hardware.
It's like it's like an event. Like they have it outside sometimes.
It's Costco. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call it Costco. If an American, you just say Costco, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like what was it? Like Landers and what's it? SNR in Philippines was explained to me as Costco. I'm like, oh, I get it here. I got you. All right. So let's talk about this. Now, a lot of people have been asking me to do this one. I will say I am not fully informed on this in terms of I don't know every single detail about it, but I just want to cover two parts of it because there's a little part here where there is potential legal action. So I'm just going to focus on that. There was a creator by the name of Taiga. I know there's a lot of history here, but apparently they were, after much drama and back and forth, apparently they were deplatformed. Now, I saw this message today and was extremely concerned, which was, I'm back home. I feel completely awful, trying to stay afloat. I need more time before I can talk properly with you guys. I feel so completely worthless and isolated. I don't know what to do. I don't want to wake up. I wish I could just stop existing. Every time I see the people who did this to me living their lives as if nothing happened, I just get sick to my stomach. I'm tired of being angry, and whenever I repress that, I become insanely depressed. My anxiety spikes. TLDR, I don't know how to cope with being due to a platform like this. Please don't forget about me. Thank you for standing up for me. I don't want to let you down, but I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do next anymore. So this is what was very concerning, which was posted out, and very intense here, serious stuff. This is after there was an interrogation, apparently, of a person who mass reported Taiga. So apparently, this person, Dylan or Vintage Bass Archive, and I don't like to give them too much clout, usually whatever, but apparently was driven by a desire to hurt them, right? And to impact both the fans and Taiga themselves, right? They were also threatening to try to get Shy Lily banned. So they were saying, oh yeah, Shy Lily should be banned, and threatening Shy Lily. You know, he claims that NSFW or any kind of related sex content violates YouTube rules, but he has a playlist which includes NSFW. Right. He refused that it was not his reporting and shifted the blame to YouTube, even though he said he did report them. So there's a lot there, but people were asking, can there be legal consequences? Yes, of course, there could be harassment. Now, depending on where the parties are, if the parties, for example, were in California, we'll just use California, for example, there could be cyber stalking, cyber harassment. Especially if they're like both, for example, American parties, there can be consequences. There could also be potential suits for lost revenue. But the problem is, this is what I said before, I'm very wary of giving people credit for, quote unquote, taking the head, right? There are certain people out there, drama creators, hell, even certain rage pigs, like sweet, that try to take credit every single time that a creator graduates or a creator steps down or takes a break or everything else. They try to say, oh, that was me. I'm the one that caused it. I'm the one that did that. Right? And I don't want to give those people credit because there's a lot of clout goblins out there that are trying to say, I took the head. I'm the one. But I don't want to make them that. And I don't want to give them that credit. But if they've got a malicious history, there certainly is the ability to sue. Now, it's hard to do it. If they're in different countries, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, right? And the best remedy is really public shaming. So just want to say my standard for most of that is to ignore those people, particularly when they seem to be really deranged when it comes to attention. Because in this case, this person seemed to have done most of this, frankly, because they didn't get their Oshi's attention, which is so fucked up. Can you think about, pause for a second. Think about this. If you went out and said, if you don't respond to me and pay attention to me, I'm going to mass report your channel. How screwed up is that? That's the absolute worst. That's absolute nasty behavior. And yes, people say, isn't admitting that doing a crime? Sure it is. And they should also be kicked off the platforms, right? They should also be banned from YouTube, Twitch, wherever else they were doing that. But beyond that, it could be a crime. The problem is try to figure out who that person is, where they are, where they live. And then, by the way, the person's got to dox themselves to file the police report oftentimes. So it can be a real tough road. Be a real tough road. And especially if you're an indie VTuber that doesn't have any support, one thing, once again, I'll say corporations, you may not like them for a lot of things, but they do offer you some support. And this is the level of harassment that a corporation would protect you against. Right? There's your pro con of corporations. Once again, everyone's like, Andrew's evil to corporations. Nope. Corporations are good at protecting you from that. I mean, they got a lot of downsides, but they're usually pretty good at that. Right? Unless you're Niji. Some comments here. Will you add the Shiko Noko entrance to your clips? I would have to get that. I have to get that added, but we can work on some. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame for Singapore 5 said, wish we could cover more Taiga. Can you do so and get many others like False to cover it? I think it was treated unfairly, literally. Look, I've only seen that part of it. And to be honest, I did see a little bit of general facts other than that, but it seemed like there's a lot of stuff that was non-legal. So obviously I'm not trying to go. What I want to stick to is mainly stuff that can be legal. And obviously there's something like, okay, there can be a lawsuit, but how much drama related do I have to cover to say, okay, there can or cannot be a lawsuit? So in this one, it appears that's mostly where the legal analysis is. And certainly I wish Taiga the best. I hope nothing happens. And I hope they're all right. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame Rosarian Monando Sword says, you are covering my clip request in a bit. Depends on which one it is. Wait, is it Gura and Bay have the moves? I've got a Bay and Crony. Wait, no, hold on. I'm not that one. Okay, hold on. Oh, Kayla appears in Bibu's 3D as the final boss. Yeah, I've got that one in the end. That's at the end. And yeah, that's all I got for the clips. Gotta keep my clips short today. Noxie said this person has tried to extort Tyga at a point when there's at this point there's proof. She needs people to stand up more than ever. Thank you for coming. Yeah, no, thank you. And I know it's just a little bit, but I really do hope that these people will learn this is not acceptable. Calling them out is one thing, you know, obviously booting them out, silencing them, but they don't deserve to be elevated in terms of clout or attention or subscribers or followers. They need to be kind of exiled to the island. Which is kind of what happened with Tricky Wee when they made those statements in an unrelated matter. So, yeah, if there's more to cover on this, I will, though. I will. So don't think I've ignored this. And guys, when you give me topics, I do pay attention to them and I read them. I really consider them. Sometimes I'm sent topics that are just not legal and there's nothing at all on that bone. And it's not appropriate for me to cover. It's better for someone like False or Kyo or, you know, whoever else or Rev to cover rather than me. And that's fine, right? That's why we each have our niche. My niche is the law. If I can't give you anything legal on it, even a little bit, even sort of businessy, if it's businessy, I'll touch it too. It's kind of hard for me to go into it. But yeah, public shaming does work. And it's something that is appropriate here. Okay. We got some Hoyoverse news. You ready for this, guys? So the SAG-AFTRA, they put out here a intention to strike with video game companies, right? So they intended to have video game companies striking. You know, they've had this intent to strike here. And we suddenly have news. And this was first covered, I think the first place I saw this was Game Rant, that Honkai Star Rail is changing Ho-Ho's voice actor, or Hua. Actually, no. Ho-Ho? I don't know. I'm going to say Ho-Ho like it's Santa. Sorry, guys. I'm probably not pronouncing this again. But do you remember how I said China has no problem if you get out of line, if you start acting crazy, firing you and replacing you with AI or replacing you with someone else? Isn't it ironic that Courtney Lynn, who as she starts to speak up and get all woke and do all that, gets fucking booted for Megan the shit man, right? You done effed up. You done effed up. CCP does not care. Somebody in the chat says, ho-woo, hoo-woo. Okay. Very based. I'm gonna say this firing. Tell me, Shondo.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
I expect this to happen across the industry for stuff they talk about. This is, of course, talking about the skin color stuff and also talking about, you know, striking, protesting. There's no requirement that they keep you on as a voice act. I mean, how are you going to enforce that? Good luck enforcing that against a Chinese company. You're like, I'm going to strike because I want to get higher wages. You know what they do to that? You know what they say to that in Beijing? They're like, strike means you're unemployed. Bye. Like, come on now. Yeah, the silly boycott thing. Yeah, rare-based CN moment. Once again, there's certain things you got to understand, and money is one of them. And they're like, yeah, you're going to jeopardize our money? Okay, you're out. So, that's what we got for today. Covered a hell of a lot of topics, guys. My throat does kind of hurt. I was, you know, moving around a lot. I was really surprised I couldn't, you know, see if I can get through all that. So I'm really happy I could get through all that. tonight. But that's what I got for tonight. I'm going to have more in the future. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the standard contract that's going to come up. I got some clips for you here, so don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I got 2 clips. Yeah, we'll do the 2 clips. We'll do the 2 clips before we go. But that's the main topics for tonight. And let me get these 2. Let's get these 2 clips here. So we got Kayla appears in Bee Boo 3D as the final boss. Thank you for that. Also, this was super chatted in earlier. That's actually really good. That's really good.
So finally you're here. You have finally defeated the first boss.
Kyle, what are you doing here?
Too bad for you. I am the real final boss.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so if you wanna win, you need to defeat me.
Really?
Yeah. Come at me, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait! Why do you have 3 health bars?
Yeah, why not?
I'm tired. Whatever.
Oh, you're tired? Okay then.
Well, I mean, that ends that one real quick. Okay, I'll keep the singing out because that'll probably get us a strike. But that was good. Good moment there. Also, one more here as recommended. Gura and Pei have got the moves. Thank you guys.
Sweet appetite. Sweet appetite.
Don't worry, it's my queendom. Look at me, the face I wanted to see.
Also, I will say, guys, with music, I'm gonna be a little more careful because last time I got my channel, we got demonetized by Narissa singing. So I gotta be very careful with the singing because apparently they're paying too much attention to the singing.
Take over indeed, am I a touch? Do you like it? A balance complete. Do you hear my heartbeat? So same for you.
We'll pause it there because that's good. Okay, so someone sent me that clip, but good stuff, good moves, good stuff. But don't want to get the channel in naughty zone. So that said, guys, appreciate you out there. Thank you all for being here. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, LSP, all the guys said CCP. Oh, you're on strike. Gulag your butts. And Miscellaneous Variant says Larry Fink, CEO, chairman of BlackRock, concerning quote during 27 interview. We've got to force behavior. We're going to have to force change. Yes. This is an absolute direct quote, not an exaggeration. Now, the one thing I will tell you is that a lot of corporations now know this doesn't work, right? Which is a good thing. And Asia realizes this is the game, so they're pushing back as well, which is good. That said, guys, take care. Stay relatively based, and never forget that.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Low,